Welcome to Daily Conversation. This is Mr. K.
This is Eric.
Yeah, today is the 24th of December 2021 and the time now is 6:16 a.m. Well, our topic today is discuss the use of voices, text, and images in communication. Right, so before we get started, please click the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, so here we go. Yeah, so for the function of many communications apps and then or maybe some communications platform, yeah, I think voices, text, and images um, are very common, and sometimes we just use them like together or uh, in a combination of them. Yeah, and so I think today I talk about some of the advantages and disadvantages of each of these functions. Yeah, so the first one is the voices. Yeah, basically this is the voice messages, and yeah, I think for this one it is the first advantage. It is faster for the sender, for the person who want to send a message. Yeah, this for here it is the voice message, and I think it is faster for the sender and it is convenient. The sender can kind of like, let's say he is doing something else. Let's say he is on the way going to work, and then he is commuting, but at the same time he can just like uh, send the voice messages as he was walking to work. Yeah, this is one example, and yeah, this is the advantage, which is faster. And for uh, yeah, the disadvantage for this one, yeah, the voice messages is, I think, um, it is on the recipient side, the recipient, and also on the sender. Even though it can be faster, but imagine that next time you need to maybe find back what other people said before. Maybe you need to look for some information which somebody tell you before, and especially when you have many conversation with this guy, and you need to find back a particular message, then this could be difficult because uh, you couldn't just see just one take a look and then to see which one is the message. You have to maybe click one by one, yeah, and then to listen. And yeah, so this is the first disadvantage, which is uh, cannot find back so easily. Yeah, and the second uh, disadvantage is that for the recipient, yeah, they have to click like to play the your recording so that they can get what you want to say. In this way, actually, it is not that fast for the recipient, and then sometimes they have to listen a few times so that they can know what you want to say and they can get the full information. And so this is I think the disadvantage also, because some people they are quite wordy. Yeah, they make the recording very long, and then actually the messages isn't that much, the information isn't that much. Yeah, and the third disadvantage is the quality. Yeah, for voice messages it is not standard. Yeah, it is not like text messages. Some people, I don't know why some people they just couldn't speak. I mean, I think it's the environment problem. Sometimes the environment is, let's say, it's very noisy, and or maybe they put their phone far away from their mouth, and sometimes some people's recording is not really clear, and it's kind of like difficult for the recipient to hear. Yeah, so it is affected by the quality, and sometimes for some people their phones maybe has got some problem which you cannot listen to the voices, the voice messages smoothly. Yeah, these are the three disadvantage I find in voice messages. And yeah, next I go to, oh yeah, before this, I think yeah, I talk more about the voice messages. And recently for the apps WhatsApp, yeah, and they add in one new function, which is like they can fast forward. They can change the play speed of the voice messages. Yeah, and I think this is a very good thing because it actually solve one of the problem, which is it can be slower for the recipient. Yeah, and then they can just make this faster, and then I think this is not fully solved, but kind of like improve a little bit. Yeah, and second, I would like to go to text messages. Yeah, for text messages, either is WhatsApp or email or any other platform you can use. Text messages basically are clearer. Yeah, they are more formal, and then the advantages is it is clear for the recipient and also for the sender, uh, and then it is also faster for recipient to get the information. Yeah, and then um, the disadvantage is it may be slower for the sender who need to like type out the message, and then compared to voice, I think this is slower. If you don't say it is a very short message, just like one sentence or what, yeah, if it is something like a longer one, then maybe your text messages would be longer, and then you cannot like do it when you were commuting to work. Yeah, of course you can if you sit on, let's say, the MRT. Yeah, but I mean, if you are kind of like walking to somewhere else and you couldn't do this at the same time. Yeah, and next is about the images. Yeah, I think, yeah. So just now, text messages, I already talked about. The advantages is clearer for both sides, faster for the recipient, and the faster here also include it is easy to find back. Yeah, and then for some apps, they can actually type in some keyword and then to find out uh, their messages in the history. So it won't be difficult to find out the particular information in the past. Yeah, and the disadvantage is it can be slower for the sender, and they need to spend time to type out the message. Yeah, so this is for text messages. And the last one is the images. Yeah, the images here, I think the main advantage is sometimes images is better in communicating, especially you want to show something to someone. Yeah, in this case, um, images sometimes is much easier. Something couldn't be communicate through the voices or text, the text messages so easily. So I think yeah, images is used in combination of uh, the other methods like voice and text. So the images, the advantage I would say is it is good at showing something. Yeah, and the disadvantages maybe is it couldn't be used solely. I mean, if you just use the image solo, and then maybe it is not that suitable. Yeah, sometimes you also need to say something for the picture. Yeah, for the detail of the picture and what is it means for. Yeah. So yeah, I think before and also one thing I would like to add in is also a function which is the combination of voices and text. Yeah, for this one, it is the voice to text function. Yeah, which means that you can actually like speak. Yeah, and then you speak it out what you want to say, and then uh, the the phone will the apps will translate your voice into text messages. Yeah, so for this one, it basically solves some of the problem also. Like, uh, text messages are slower. So with this method, if you are able to use it well and efficiently, and it will be faster. Yeah. For the sender, yeah, they can do it also. At the same time, they are, let's say, doing something else. Um, it won't be as slow as you have to type out the words one by one. Yeah, so I think these are my sharings today.
Okay, I think in communications, uh, faster or slower is not good parameters. And I think we should use the effectiveness.
Mm,
And what's the purpose of communication? Which is to know why you want to have communication. Is this you want to say something to other people? You want to show them you can say something, you have the abilities, or you actually want them hear you. You want them to understand you, understand what you want, what you need, understand your instruction, or you just want to say something. Yeah,
yeah.
this is a question to you.
Mm. Oh, um, yeah. I think it can uh, yeah, it can be many circumstances. It could be like communication in work. It can be like you have a chat with your friend. I think all of them is included and depend on which conditions we would like to discuss.
No, I mean for all conditions. Can you think about any situation that you just say something you don't it's you don't need other people understand you. In this case, you can say another language. You can say German. You can say Hindi. You can say other
Mm,
language that they are not familiar. You can type out Spanish. You can type out uh, Japanese. Yeah. So
mm,
yeah, you can use other you can use foreign language that the counterparty don't understand.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
got
in
it.
this case, is you just want to say out something, and then you don't expect people um understand, and then you don't care. You don't care whether they can understand or not. You don't care whether they are fully receive the message or not.
Mm,
They can understand the information or not. You don't care. You just want to say something. Or even though you can create uh, your own mechanism using some cryptography, and then you can turn your your message into the symbol, and then you can send a message to other people.
mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
But in this case, you don't tell other people the mechanism. Yeah. So I just
Mm,
send you a random. To you is a random symbol. Mm. To you is a random number, random characters. To you has no meaning unless I give you the mechanism, and then you can start to break out. Sorry, you can start to break down uh, each characters and then convert into an English or other language like Chinese you familiar, so you can understand the information.
yeah.
Yeah. So the key point here is what is the purpose of communication? Is it
Mm,
something like you just want to say out something? You just want to make some uh, show your existence, Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
some
you
people may be write a post on their blog. Yeah, it could be, but it's not. I think it's not the main purpose for that can represent communication.
but you see they write something on post. What they expect other people understand them, they expect other people read them. So it is fall in the second category. You want people receive your information, you want people understand you, what you are saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you see any other people use some cryptography or use some language they created by themselves, and then they post they post or they tweet in the post in the social media?
Yeah,
No.
never.
Yeah, never. Maybe you see, but maybe maybe there's some mechanism inside, and he or she just want to let certain people read the message. Yeah. Yeah. But they never have a circumstance, they never have an occasion that people just want to say something, they just want to voice out, they don't expect, they don't want people understand them. There's no single circumstances in communication. Yeah. Yeah. So if you know the purpose of communication, so the most critical part is not on the sender part, it's on the receiver part. For sender is fast, but for receiver is slow, it is not effective. Convenient for sender, but inconvenient for receiver, it is not effective. Yeah. But if you turn another way around, for sender is slower, for receiver is faster, but does it mean that it is good? It's effective?
Yeah, it would be
No.
better if it is fast for both sides.
The answer is no, because you just compare the fast slow. Sorry, you just compare the fast slow. In communication,
Speed.
this is not the good parameters. The parameter is the effectiveness. What does it mean? For sender, yeah, even though I can use text, I can type random things to you, and I expect you to understand me. I can use a lot of short form. Yeah. Yeah, or I can like or I can send uh
Hello.
yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking. I'm thinking an example. Just I just suddenly forget example. Uh. Okay. Yeah. For sender, it can be slower. Okay. And that you type out the words each one by one using English. Okay. But you have tons and tons of grammar mistakes. Okay. And the grammar mistake is very, very is very, very serious. Okay. And also the vocabulary, the vocab you are using is wrong. It's not appropriate vocab. Or there is some many character or there are some many vocab error. Okay. The word error.
Yeah.
And then yeah, for you even it's slower. But how about for receiver? Is it faster? Maybe yes, because he can see the message. He don't need to listen to your voice. But can he or she understand? Can the receiver understand your message? Is it the effective communications? No. Yeah. So the good parameters here is effectiveness. It's not the fast or slow. Even though you use a text, you can have an ineffective communications. Yeah. Yeah. And if you compare voices and text, which one is less effective? Normally, when you're doing the long distance communications, text is better. Yeah, text is better. I mean, you didn't use if okay. There are two criteria. The first is if this is long distance, and the second is not face to face. Or okay, or maybe I should, or maybe I can conclude into one, which is one-way communication. If you are in both two-way communication, so that means when you say something, okay, and then the counterparty can immediately post you, and then they tell you, hey, wait a minute, I don't understand what you're saying. So this is the two-way communication. Yeah, so it's like the instant two-way communication. But if you are using like the WhatsApp, you're using the social media, using posts, or you writing a blog post, all these things. Yeah. And text is actually a better communication tools for you to let the receiver understands your message better. Yeah. Yeah. And why? Because when you're using voices, you couldn't fully construct your sentence very well compared to text. Yeah.
Yep.
Even though you're using voices, you can speak slower and you can think before you say. But it is not as good as using text. So the quality and the structure is inferior. Yeah.
Yep. And mostly we make it longer. I mean the voice message.
Yes. And most of the time, if you want to if you want to say if you want to deliver the information if you want to deliver important information, and the message will be long if you use the voices. Yeah. And how about the text? If the information is long, some people will say too long to read. Yeah. But how about for voice? For voices, it's also too long to listen. So they are on the same line. Yeah. And for voices, you couldn't see the structure. Yeah, you couldn't just use your eye see the structure. You couldn't look back the first sentence or the second sentence and try to find a link. Try to find a link. Or is there any link between the second paragraph to first paragraph, or the fifth sentence to the first sentence? In voice, you couldn't do that. In text, you can do that, and you can search. Yeah, just like what you said just now. If this is a long, if this is a message a long time ago, you can use the search. You can use the text search to search the particular information message. But for voice, you couldn't. Yeah, and so this is the point. Yeah, why Texas is superior over the voices when you are involved in the one-way communications. People couldn't instantly make a post make a stop and ask you something. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And people who like to use the voices, the first reason is maybe it's not important message. If they like to use the voices in important message, then these guys, he or she don't understand the purpose of communications. Yeah. Which is they don't put themselves into other people's shoes.
Yep.
And to me, this kind of people is totally irresponsible. Yeah, even though even though they may not aware. Yeah. Yeah. But like most of the time you don't aware you hurt other people, but other people don't care whether you aware or not. You just hurt them.
Yeah.
So to me, these kind of people is irresponsible persons. And if I'm allowed to ignore their message, ignore their informations, they want to deliver, I will ignore. Yeah. So for example, if some people send me a voices message and I will see the person. If this is a person's I want to communicate with, or do I think he or she is an important person? If this is if this is she, and is she beautiful? Yeah. And yeah, if the above criteria is false, didn't fulfill any criteria above I mentioned, I will ignore their message. And at here, what I will do, I will use the image. I will use the image to reply them. I will give them a thumbs up without listen their voices message. Yeah, I'll just give them the thumbs up. And also, it linked to the next thing, which is the use of images in communication. And for me, I normally use the images when I want to end a conversation. Give a thumbs up. Yeah. Show them okay.
Yeah, the okay one.
Yeah, and then because people because the images is standardized and people couldn't understand what you trying to deliver, the message you're trying to deliver. It's just a thumbs up. It just show that okay. Yeah, but if I use the words, I can say noted. I can say okay. I can say I got it. I can say no problem. I will do it. Yeah. So people can try to find the clue from the message. Sometimes you say okay, you use O and K. Sometimes you use the full term OKAY. Sometimes you use I see. Sometimes you say noted. Sometimes you say well noted. Sometimes you say noted with thanks. Yeah. And if the person if you keep communicate with a person and you have you know him, and sometimes you use noted, sometimes you use noted with thanks, sometimes you use well noted. Yeah, so you can see the emotion behind the message. For example, if when they use well noted means they really understand, okay, and maybe it's a neutral, they don't have any emotion attached. Maybe when they use noted with thanks, maybe they feel happy with your decision. And when they use okay, or maybe they use noted, maybe they're a little bit against your point. Yeah, but they tend to agree you. Maybe because you are the boss, you are the customer. Yeah, such thing. Yeah. So yeah, in this case, you let people guess your emotion. Yeah, and also, yeah, but if you use a standardized message, which is like the or maybe for yourself, you have a standardized text, for example, well noted with thanks, and every time you use this, and then or sometimes you just use the images, the standardized ones.
Mm.
Okay. For example, thumbs up. For example, a smile face. Yeah, yeah. So this is let people know. Yeah, let people know. Sometimes you want to end the sometimes you want to end the conversation. And also another use of images is you want to express, uh, you want to emphasize your emotion to other people when the emotion from the sentence is not clear, when the emotion in the messages is not clear.
Mm.
For example, I want to ask you something. For example, yeah, Mr. K, did you update uh the topic the next day? Okay, and if I didn't use any emotions, you think that, oh, I'm like criticize you, but you actually did upload the the topic. But actually what I want to confirm is I couldn't see a topic. Yeah, maybe there's something wrong in my apps, in my Google Sheet, or in my Google Doc. Yeah, I want to confirm with you. Yeah, or maybe there's something wrong. Yeah, and I don't want to criticize you, but maybe uh the message to you is something like I'm criticizing you. And but if in this case I'm using an emotion, maybe I use a curious, maybe I use the smile face,
Mm.
and yeah, or maybe I just type longer. I'm not sure whether my app's got problem or not, because my apps is not working. It's not working this few days.
Mm.
Yeah, and other people can understand the feeling behind you, the message, the emotions behind the message. Yeah. Mm. Yeah,
Yep.
but sometimes we don't want to explain too much,
Mm.
so we use emotion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially the times that maybe you are sending messages to your, let's say, your client, your customer. Sometimes you like to use the smiley face, right?
Yeah. Yeah. To let them know, kind of like, we are kind, and
Mm.
we respect you, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, friendly.
Mm. Yeah. So this is my share for to this topic.
Mm. Yep. So so I think that for you, you seldom use the voice messages, right? For work purpose, maybe with your colleagues, your
Never.
boss.
Yeah,
Oh.
I will say never. And my boss and my colleagues also never use the voice message to communicate.
Mm. Yep. Yeah. Sometimes I really don't like someone send a voice message to me, and the length of the voice message is like 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Yeah, because for voice message there is also one disadvantage is people have to listen from the first second to the last second because they don't know what you want to say. They have to just listen from the beginning to the end. But for text, yeah, we can like just if you read something fast, you can just skip a little bit and then go to the point that you want to see.
Mm. Yeah, but sometimes it will create problem.
Oh, yeah, misunderstand, right?
This is a receiver problem.
Mm, yeah.
And you can also say they are irresponsible person because they don't spend time to understand what people trying to say. But of course, uh, if the message is unimportant to them, they can do that. Of course, they
Mm,
can do. This is their right. But if this is a important message, for example, uh, let's say people already tell you the thing, and then you keep asking,
mm,
or you already tell people the things, you already include everything in your text message, and people still keep asking the same thing. Yeah. Yeah. So, what is the impression? What is the impression for this kind of person?
Yeah. Firstly, I would reflect myself whether I didn't express well enough in the text messages, and then if it is obvious that I didn't make it difficult to understand, yeah, and I think it's
How do you define obvious? How do you define difficult to understand?
um yeah, I think this is also kind of like subjective. Yeah, for example,
I mean, you can give some example.
yeah,
You want to make it obvious, if you want to make it clear, and this is a sender problem.
yeah, for example,
because just like what I say, the purpose of communications, okay, is let the receiver know your intention, know the message, know the information. And if sometimes the thing is too difficult to understand and very easy to misunderstand, to confuse, you can give one example. Can give one example to your statement.
Yeah.
So this is sender problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's say some detail of what you want to say, like the time, and then maybe the amount of money. These kind of things, I think, is kind of like obvious. Let's say you say the time 7 p.m. You include it in the text, and people keep asking you the same question, what's the time? And yeah, I think this is kind of like, obviously, is you didn't read the text carefully.
And when I need to refer to the time, refer to the date, especially date, and what I would do, I will use I will type, for example, I will type next Tuesday, and I will bracket the date. Yeah, for example, next Tuesday is let's say next Tuesday is 28th December 28th 2021. Yeah, I will bracket and put the date, and then I will also mention the time. Yeah, so when people, maybe next time they need to refer to the message next Tuesday. When is the next Tuesday? Yeah.
Yep.
What's the date? It's 28th. Yeah, so they know, oh, this is not the next Tuesday anymore. This is this Tuesday. This is 2 days later. If this is Sunday, and 1 day tomorrow, if this is Monday.
Yep.
Yeah. And also, when you are using a time, you can use the 24 hours format, or you can use the AM PM format, but to ensure you use the correct AM or PM.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, anything else on the in?
Yeah, no.
Okay. Yeah, so that's all about the conversations. How do you feel? Did you enjoy the conversations? Please tell us what you think about conversations. We are not native speakers. If you found any vocab or grammar mistake that we made, please also comment to let us know, because we want to learn more and improve ourselves. Remember to like, subscribe to us. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.